The bright stars twinkled over the alien planet of Zorth. In the grand palace of the alien king, the air was thick with worry. King Tharok paced back and forth in his throne room, his heart pounding. His daughter, Princess Lyra, was missing. She had been captured by a fearsome creature, an apex predator that roamed the dark forests of their world. Tharok was a strong king, known for his bravery in battle and his wisdom in ruling. But now he felt helpless. He had sent his best warriors to rescue Lyra, but one by one they had fallen to the predator. Each day brought more bad news, and Tharok's heart sank deeper into despair. The princess was not only his daughter, she was the hope of their people. Where could she be, he thought, staring out the window at the vast, dark landscape. The forest loomed like a shadowy monster, hiding its secrets well. Tharok clenched his fists, feeling anger and fear mix inside him. He knew he had to act quickly. Time was running out. Tharok took a deep breath and summoned his advisors. The room filled with the king's trusted leaders, each one worried about their king's distress. "We must find her," Tharok commanded, his voice echoing through the chamber. "We must do whatever it takes to save Princess Lyra." One of his advisors, a wise and old alien named Zekar, spoke up. "My king, we have sent our best soldiers, but the predator is too strong. It is unlike anything we have faced before." The other advisors nodded, their faces filled with fear. Tharok's heart raced. He felt a wave of hopelessness wash over him. But then he remembered the stories he had heard about humans. Mysterious beings from a distant planet called Earth. They were known for their courage and strength. Could they help? "Zekar," Tharok said, determination shining in his eyes. "What if we asked the humans for help? They are fearless and resourceful. They might have the skills we need to rescue Lyra." Zekar frowned. "But my king, humans are unpredictable. They may not even care about our plight." "We have no choice," Tharok replied, feeling a fire in his heart. "I will not lose my daughter to that monster. We must send a message to Earth asking for their help." With a heavy heart, Tharok began to write a message, his hands shaking. He poured his soul into the words, pleading for aid. He wrote about Lyra, the princess who held the dreams of their people. He described the predator, a creature of nightmares, and the danger it posed. Once the message was complete, Tharok sent his fastest ship to Earth, praying that it would reach the humans in time. The ship sped through the stars, carrying the king's desperate plea. As the ship traveled, Tharok could only imagine what the humans might think. Would they see the urgency in his words? Would they care enough to help? Back on Earth, the message reached a group of human leaders. They gathered around a glowing screen as the alien message played. They listened intently, their faces growing serious. "This is no ordinary request," one leader said. "They need our help to save a princess from a monster. If we don't act, that creature could kill her." Another leader spoke up. "But what if it's a trap? We don't know anything about these aliens." The first leader shook his head. "We cannot ignore their plea. This could be a chance to show our strength and form a new alliance. We must send a team to help them." Meanwhile, back on Zorth, King Tharok waited anxiously. Each moment felt like an eternity. He prayed to the stars, hoping the humans would answer his call. He knew that with their help, they might finally defeat the predator and save his beloved daughter. As the night wore on, hope flickered in Tharok's heart. Maybe, just maybe, the humans would come to their rescue. The ship glided through the dark space, heading toward the dangerous planet of Zorth. Inside the cockpit, Commander Jake sat at the controls, his eyes focused on the screen. His heart raced as he thought about the mission ahead. They were going to rescue Princess Lyra from the deadly apex predator that roamed the planet. "Are we ready?" Jake asked, glancing at his team. Sarah, the scout, checked her gear, while Mark, the tech expert, ran diagnostics on their equipment. Lisa, the medic, was preparing supplies, making sure they were ready for anything. "Everything looks good," Mark replied, tapping his screen. "We'll be landing soon." As they entered Zorth's atmosphere, the ship shook violently. "Hold on!" Jake shouted, gripping the controls tightly. Outside the windows, dark clouds swirled, and flashes of lightning illuminated the landscape below. The planet was a mix of beauty and danger. Towering mountains surrounded vast forests filled with strange plants. But it was also known for its deadly wildlife. Jake felt a knot of fear in his stomach. "Stay alert, everyone. This planet is not friendly." The ship descended through the storm, finally breaking free into calmer skies. Below them, a clearing appeared, and Jake spotted a safe place to land. He guided the ship down, relieved when the landing gear touched the ground without a hitch. The team quickly gathered their gear and stepped out into the thick, humid air. The forest around them was alive with sounds, birds screeching, insects buzzing, and distant roars that sent chills down their spines. "Stay close," Jake ordered, scanning the surroundings. "We don't know what could be lurking in the shadows." As they moved forward, the team felt a mix of excitement and fear. The tall trees towered above them, their leaves rustling in the wind. Strange flowers bloomed in bright colors, but their beauty was deceiving. "I've read about this place," Sarah said, her eyes wide. "They say the apex predator can smell fear. We must stay strong." "Right," Jake said, his voice steady. "We'll find the princess and get her back." They pressed deeper into the forest, following a narrow path that led toward the predator's lair. The further they went, the thicker the trees became, blocking out the sunlight. Shadows danced around them, and every sound made them jump. Suddenly, Mark's device beeped. "I'm picking up movement nearby," he said, his face tense. "It's large!" "Everyone, get ready," Jake commanded. They quickly formed a tight circle, weapons drawn, hearts pounding. The sounds of snapping branches echoed through the forest, getting closer. Then, out of the darkness, a massive creature burst into view. It was covered in dark scales and had glowing eyes that pierced the shadows. The apex predator had arrived. "Run!" Jake shouted, adrenaline pumping through his veins. The team sprinted down the path, the creature hot on their heels. They could hear its heavy footsteps behind them, growing louder and louder. "Where do we go?" Lisa yelled, panic rising in her voice. "Over there!" Sarah pointed to a large rock formation. "We can hide!" They dashed toward the rocks, ducking behind the largest one just in time. The predator skidded to a halt, sniffing the air. Its eyes searched for them, glowing menacingly. Jake's heart raced as they huddled together, trying to control their breathing. "We need a plan," he whispered. "We can't stay here forever." The predator circled the rocks, its growls sending shivers down their spines. They could see the creature's massive claws digging into the ground, leaving deep marks. "Mark, can you use your tech to distract it?" Jake asked, his mind racing. "I can try," Mark replied, quickly working on a small device. "I'll set it to make noise over there." "Do it now!" Jake urged. Mark activated the device, and it emitted a loud sound that echoed through the trees. The predator turned, its attention drawn away from the hiding humans. "Now!" Jake shouted. They sprinted in the opposite direction, their hearts pounding as they ran. The sounds of the predator faded behind them, and they felt a glimmer of hope. "Keep moving!" Sarah urged, her breath heavy. As they navigated through the thick forest, they pushed past their fear and focused on their mission. They were determined to find Princess Lyra and bring her back home. But as they ventured deeper into Zorth, they knew they were far from safe. The planet was full of dangers, and the apex predator was not the only threat they would face. The real challenge had only just begun. After days of searching, the human team finally found the entrance to the predator's lair. The cave was hidden behind a waterfall, the water crashing down like thunder. As the team approached, they felt a chill in the air. The lush green forest around them became silent, as if nature itself held its breath. Commander Jake led his team, feeling both excitement and fear. He turned to his team members, Sarah, the skilled scout, Mark, the tech expert, and Lisa, the medic. "Stay close and be ready for anything," he warned. The team nodded, their faces serious. They knew they were entering a dangerous place. As they stepped into the cave, darkness enveloped them. Jake switched on his flashlight, and the beam of light cut through the gloom. The walls of the cave were damp and cold, and strange sounds echoed around them. Drips of water, distant growls, and rustling noises that made their skin crawl. "Let's move quietly," Jake whispered, his heart racing. The deeper they went, the more they felt the presence of the predator. Suddenly, Mark's device beeped loudly, making everyone jump. "Sorry, I think it's picking up some movement," he said, trying to calm his teammates. "Shh," Sarah hissed. They all stopped and listened carefully. The growling grew louder, vibrating through the air. They could feel it in their bones. The predator was near. As they moved further into the cave, they saw markings on the walls, scratches and claw marks that told a terrifying story. This creature was strong and vicious. "We need to be careful. This isn't just any animal," Lisa said, her voice shaky. Then, without warning, the ground shook. Dust and small stones fell from the ceiling as the monster appeared from the shadows. It was massive, bigger than any creature they had ever seen. Its skin was tough and covered in dark, glistening scales. Its eyes glowed like burning coals, filled with hunger and fury. "Get ready!" Jake shouted, raising his weapon. The team stood in a tight circle, hearts pounding. The monster roared, a sound that echoed like thunder, and charged at them with incredible speed. Jake fired his weapon, but the bullets bounced off the predator's thick skin. "It's not working! We need a new plan!" he yelled, adrenaline surging through him. The team scattered, trying to find cover. The predator focused on Sarah, who was quick on her feet. She dodged to the side just in time as the creature lunged at her, its sharp claws missing her by inches. "Over here!" she shouted, trying to draw its attention away from the others. "Mark, use the flashbang!" Jake commanded. Mark quickly pulled out a small device and threw it at the ground near the predator. The flashbang exploded with a bright light and a loud bang, temporarily stunning the beast. "Now!" Jake shouted. They rushed in, taking advantage of the moment. But the creature quickly recovered, swinging its massive tail and knocking Lisa off her feet. "Lisa!" Jake yelled, fear gripping his heart. As they fought, the team realized they were not just fighting a beast, they were fighting for their lives. The predator was cunning and powerful, and it seemed to enjoy the hunt. It played with them, using the darkness to its advantage, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. In a moment of desperation, Jake glanced at the walls of the cave. There must be a weakness, he thought. He remembered the markings. Perhaps they told a story of the predator's past. He pointed to a spot where the claw marks were deeper and fresher. "If we can trap it there, we might have a chance." "Sarah, lead it this way," he instructed. She nodded, her heart racing as she lured the monster toward the marked area. With the team working together, they felt a spark of hope. Maybe they could defeat the monster after all. But would they be fast enough? The battle was only just beginning. The battle with the predator raged on. The massive creature roared with rage, its eyes burning with anger. The human team fought hard, but they knew they had to act fast. Time was running out, and the princess was still in danger. Jake glanced around the cave, looking for a way to trap the beast. Suddenly, he spotted a faint light flickering in the distance. "That way!" he shouted, pointing toward the glow. "It might lead us to the princess." Sarah nodded, adrenaline pumping through her veins. "Let's go." The team quickly moved toward the light, leaving the monster behind for a moment. They could hear the creature growling, but they pushed forward, hoping they were close to finding the princess.
As they approached the light, they entered a larger chamber filled with crystals.
In the center of the room, they saw her, Princess Lyra. She was trapped in a cage made of thick vines, her face pale but determined. "Princess!" Jake called out, rushing forward. But before he could reach her, the predator reappeared, blocking their path. The creature had followed them, its eyes locked on the humans. "No!" Sarah shouted, stepping in front of the princess. "We have to protect her." The monster lunged at them, but Jake and his team stood their ground. "We can't let it get to her!" he yelled. They fired their weapons, but the predator was too fast, dodging their shots. It was clear they needed a new plan. "Mark, can you use the flashbang again?" Jake asked, panting from the effort. Mark nodded, quickly preparing another device. "On my signal!" Jake said, his eyes locked on the beast. With a roar, the predator charged again. Just as it reached them, Jake shouted, "Now!" Mark threw the flashbang at the creature. It exploded with a blinding flash, catching the monster off guard. "Go! Get the princess!" Jake yelled as the beast stumbled, confused. The team dashed toward Lyra, hearts racing with hope. As they reached the cage, Lyra looked at them with wide eyes. "You came for me!" she gasped, relief washing over her face. "I knew you would!" "Hold on, we'll get you out," Sarah said, working quickly to untangle the vines. The vines were thick and strong, but Sarah pulled with all her might. Just then, they heard the predator recovering from the flashbang. It was getting angry again. "Faster! It's coming back!" Jake shouted, glancing back at the creature. The monster roared, charging toward them once more. "We're almost there!" Sarah cried, finally breaking through the last of the vines. The cage creaked open, and Lyra stumbled out, weak but free. "Thank you," she said breathlessly, looking at her rescuers. But they had no time to celebrate. The predator was closing in, and they needed to escape. "Run!" Jake ordered, leading the group toward the exit of the chamber. They dashed through the cave, but the monster was hot on their heels, its growls echoing behind them. As they neared the entrance, Jake spotted a large rock hanging above them, ready to fall. "Mark, shoot that rock!" he yelled. Mark aimed and fired, hitting the rock just as the predator lunged at them. The rock fell, blocking the entrance to the cave and trapping the predator inside. The team stumbled out into the light of the forest, panting and gasping for breath. "We did it!" Sarah exclaimed, her eyes shining with excitement. But Jake knew they couldn't celebrate just yet. "Is everyone okay?" he asked, checking on Lyra and his team. "I'm fine," Lyra said, though she looked tired. "But we must hurry. The predator won't be trapped for long. We need to get back to the ship," Jake replied, determination in his voice. "We have to get you home, Princess." Together they raced through the forest, the adrenaline of the escape driving them forward. Lyra felt a mix of fear and hope as she ran with her rescuers. She had been saved, but now they all needed to stay alive. As they reached the ship, Jake turned to the princess. "You're safe now. We'll make sure nothing happens to you again." Lyra smiled, gratitude filling her heart. "Thank you all. I won't forget this." With the team back on board, they prepared for takeoff, knowing the real battle was not over yet. The predator would not give up easily. But together, they felt stronger, ready to face whatever came next. The ship soared through the stars, leaving the dangerous planet of Zorth behind. Inside the cockpit, Commander Jake and his team felt a wave of relief wash over them. Princess Lyra sat beside them, her eyes wide with wonder as she looked out at the vastness of space. "Is it always this beautiful?" she asked, her voice filled with awe. Jake smiled. "Yes, Princess. There's so much to see beyond your planet." He glanced at his team, who were still catching their breath after the battle. Mark and Sarah exchanged relieved glances, and Lisa checked her medical supplies, ensuring everyone was safe. As the ship flew through the darkness, Lyra thought about the danger she had faced. The memories of the predator and the terrifying moments in the cave flooded her mind. But now she was free and her heart felt lighter. She turned to Jake, grateful. "Thank you for saving me. I thought I would never escape." Jake nodded, knowing the mission was not just about defeating the monster. It was about helping someone in need. "We were glad to help," he said sincerely. "But we still have to get you back to your father." Lyra smiled. "He will be so relieved. I can't wait to see him again." As they approached Zorth, the ship entered the planet's atmosphere. The vibrant colors of the land below filled Lyra's heart with joy. The forest, the mountains, and the rivers all looked alive, waiting for her return. The ship landed smoothly outside the palace. As the door opened, the warm sun greeted them. Tharok, the alien king, stood at the entrance, his face a mix of worry and hope. "Lyra!" he called, rushing forward. The princess ran into her father's arms, tears of joy streaming down her cheeks. "You are safe!" "I was so worried!" "Yes, father. The humans saved me," Lyra said, looking back at Jake and his team with admiration. The king turned to Jake, gratitude shining in his eyes. "Thank you, brave humans. You have brought my daughter back to me. I owe you a great debt." Jake stepped forward, feeling a warmth in his heart. "You don't owe us anything, King Tharok. We did it because it was right. We protect those in danger." The king nodded, impressed by the human's noble spirit. "You are truly different from what we believed. I had my doubts, but now I see the strength and kindness of your people." "Thank you, Your Majesty," Sarah said, stepping forward. "We just did what we felt was necessary. We are happy to help." Tharok smiled, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "You have shown me that humans and aliens can work together. I wish to strengthen our bond. Together we can face any danger in the universe." Lyra's heart swelled with joy. She had faced fear and danger, but now a new alliance was forming. She looked at her father and the humans, feeling hope for a brighter future. As the sun began to set, the king invited the humans into the palace for a feast. The grand hall was filled with colorful decorations, and the aroma of delicious food filled the air. Jake and his team sat at the table with the king and his advisors, sharing stories of their adventures. They laughed and talked, the walls of fear breaking down. The humans learned more about Zorth, its culture, and its people. In return, they shared tales of Earth, its beauty, and its challenges. As the night wore on, the atmosphere became lively. The princess and her father joined the humans in dancing, their spirits high. The music echoed through the palace, a celebration of life, bravery, and friendship. Finally, as the night came to an end, Tharok raised his glass. "To our new friends! May this be the start of a strong alliance between our worlds." Everyone cheered, glasses clinking together. Jake smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. They had saved the princess, defeated a monster, and forged a new bond between their worlds. As the stars twinkled above, Jake looked at his team and then at Lyra. They had all come together in a time of crisis, and now they had created something beautiful. A new beginning awaited them, full of possibilities and adventures. And deep down, they all knew that this was just the start of an exciting journey together.